Did you hit join by computer? Yep.
Oh my gosh.
An information item.
What is that?
What do you think that is?
Candle? Yeah.
What?
I give a good one.
Cover two. I think we really to post it out.
Chris,
Back up the list of his head.
Chris, are you there?
Hi, Don.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, they couldn't hear us before.
Yeah. All right.
This is Chris talking. Can you hear me? Oh, we've got a lot of feedback going on.
Because people I think are dialed in too.
Yeah, I was dialed in earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't need to use the phone. We can use the phone.
Let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, seeing my face.
Can you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
us?
Yep.
Sorry. Okay.
All right. Wow. This is my first time using this platform, and I suspect we'll have glitches along the way.
Yep.
So who all have we got here?
Leslie and Donna.
Leslie and Donna from,
Galloway.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And
And Pam from Forest View.
Sam?
Pam.
Pam, I'm sorry. Yes, I met you up at, yeah. Excellent. And who else? Courtney?
Courtney and Steve from Pocono.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Courtney. What is that?
I don't know. We're trying to figure that out.
Birthday?
Memorial Day decorations.
We have,
For purposes, I think.
we have Chantel.
Yes. Hey.
Leslie gets it.
I got it right away too. So
I didn't. I'm slow, I guess.
Where's the up close view? I got.
I think we had strippers in the building earlier today.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, gosh. Well, somebody has just joined us, and we've got somebody who's advertised as Woodbine One. Who's that?
That looks like Carrie.
Carrie?
Yes, it's Carrie and Christy and our new team member, Joanne.
Joanne, okay.
Christy actually from Forest View, but I'm here visiting Vermont today.
Oh, well, that works, doesn't it? Well, are you all seeing each other?
Yeah.
Do you want to see each other? All right. Are you still
I wasn't prepared to look at everybody.
What if you click at that? What if you click
Hi,
that?
Chantel.
Hey.
I should have warned you about that looking at everybody part.
Everybody will fit up in that top screen.
No, again,
No, we're gone. Oh, look at that. That's different.
It's the glare.
it kind of depends on the view you have.
You bear with me a moment.
Oh, better.
Yes, Christina.
Everybody here?
Hi, Allentown.
Hi.
Oh, maybe it picks up when you talk.
It does.
It
So,
changes the picture.
yeah, so now that you're talking, you come up.
Cool.
Yeah, isn't that? Now tell me all, are you seeing the beginning of my slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We'll get started. Do we think everybody's here? I'm going to guess.
I don't see it here. Is Angela?
All right. Does anybody know if Angela's joining us?
I don't see Wildwood on here.
There's my picture.
Scary, isn't it?
We have Ty and Kelly with me.
Ah,
Chris?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, she's controlling it. Christine.
Okay, does anybody know if Angela's here?
Was on here originally.
It says she's signed on.
Okay.
Can you guys see us now?
Hello?
Okay. Hi, everybody. It said our internet connection was unstable.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We won't accuse you of being unstable.
Thank you.
Let's see, I'm just having one glitch here. Calling in. Bear with me.
Angela just said she's on, but we can't hear her.
Oh, okay, that's.
She just texted me.
She could, now, all of you, as we proceed here, I might ask you to not type on your keyboard for sound purposes. And let's see if we can find a chat feature. Any of you see a chat feature? Steve is laughing.
Well,
Go back up there.
Yeah.
They bother me on the side.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, mine is at the bottom.
No. Okay. So I was like,
Okay.
Here it is.
okay.
Somebody said hi. Woodbine 1 said hi. Courtney said hello.
Yes. Yep.
So that would be a great place to,
That thing.
as I'm talking, type in your questions.
Oh, we can't use the keyboard.
No, we can.
For that, you can use the keyboard. A good point, Steve. But type quietly. No, just, my point would be to not do other things while we're watching this. So Angela is writing hello from Angela, Ty, and Kelly.
Oh, that'll put it up.
Andrea, Keisha, Becky, Jeff, and everyone says hello. That's great. All right. Now we've all said hello to each other. Let's get into the meat of it, shall we? We already did that. Here's what we're going to, you should be able to move people's faces and the chat box around if it's blocking something that I'm saying. So just use your cursor and grab it and pull it. Here's what we're going to do today, unless you all say something. But earlier this morning, Angela got a document from me called the company-wide social media recommendations. And she sent that along to all of you.
Yes.
Excellent. You have a chance to look at it.
Yes.
So we're going to review that just a little bit.
Did you get it?
On this webinar today, we're going to talk about using the insights that go with your page, and that's the analytics behind the page, okay?
Our pages prior to the meeting. Please review the audits.
Yes, review the audits. Sorry about that. Back to here. We already discussed that. So we're also going to talk about scheduling your Facebook posts and two different tools to do that, and using your cover photos and a few photo tips if we don't run out of time. And we're going to end at 2 o'clock regardless, okay? Anybody have anything to add to that agenda or questions right now that you want to have answered? And you could type them in chat or say them out loud. Somebody in the background is talking. All right, we're going to proceed if that's okay. Could everybody just type in that's okay to go ahead? Thank you. All right.
she said to type in, okay?
All right. So in that document that Angela forwarded to you this morning, I hope there are 9 different sets of instructions that will give a lot of detail and more than I want to get into here. So if we come across a question of what you need to do, that longer document will help you, I think. Okay?
Our review was pretty much okay.
So here's my first question to you all. Do you know if your business page has liked all the other Woodbine related pages? And why don't you type that into chat if you've got there, or shout it out.
I know for Pocono, we've joined most of them. Well, we've liked most of them, but I believe we have to like the new properties.
Okay, very good.
We have pages.
I don't think that Fall Bear has liked the new properties.
Okay,
Oh,
that was interesting feedback we had there. Can any of the rest of you type in that you have or haven't liked all the properties?
We haven't.
Okay. So that's an easy thing to do, and the instructions are in that document. So if you haven't, I encourage you to do that, simply because that's just going to advance that much further the viral nature of whatever each of you posts. And you'll at least be able to see what's happening at those other communities and then participate in it, commenting, liking, sharing. Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So in that document that I sent to Angela this morning, I had identified some universal themes that seem to apply to all of you and your Facebook posting activities. You're all doing really well, and I think you already know what you're doing well and what you need to do differently, possibly. But what I learned from it, analyzing the activity on all of your posts, is that, and this may not be surprising to you, people love their pets or your pets, and people love the employee recognition events you seem to have a lot, and people love resident birthdays, and they love the holiday events. So that's not surprising to you, I'm sure, but that just means that you should be doing more of that and doing it systematically. Okay, we have a question here from Ashley. Can we do anything more sound? It is hard to hear the questions with all the feedback noise. Yeah, let's do just the typing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think you also have a control there where you can mute others and that you wouldn't hear their sound. Can I try that? Can we try that? I'm going to mute you all. Turns out I have that control. And I hope you can hear me. Can you still hear me? You can nod if you can. Excellent. All right, that should be controlling the sound a little better, I think. All right. So somebody just logged in. Much better, excellent. We got it. So those universal themes, pets, employee recognition, residential birthdays, and holidays, just say to us, you ought to do more of that and do it more systematically. So maybe you want to, towards the end here, we're going to talk about a social media planning calendar. That might be where you want to start, is filling out that calendar with the resident birthdays, the holidays, and the employee recognition events. Put them in the calendar for planning and then post about it all the, as far in advance of those activities as you can, and to do it really systematically. Okay. People just love to see those, and doing more of it is not just for the sake of doing more of it, but to increase the number of likers and commenters and sharers you have. Okay. Everybody clear on that? All right. This came up when I presented to you all up in Lake Winnipesaukee a few weeks ago. One of you mentioned to me that you had mentioned, why am I getting bad reviews on getting reviews on my page? And it turns out that it looks like most of you set up a business page that was the type of business page that gets reviews. In other words, star ratings. Okay? And I don't think, as I said in that conversation up in Lake Winnipesaukee, I don't think you want that to happen. I think you want to switch the type of business page you are to, all of you are deemed local business, which sounds like it should be right, but it's really not. You want to be a corporation, organization, or there's some other designation in there. The instructions on how to change that are in that document I sent to Angela this morning. That way it was Kalista that had that problem, and she successfully changed it, right, Kalista? Is she there? Yeah. Yep, good. So, I mean, it might be a corporate-wide decision for you to decide that you don't want to have reviews of your organizations. If it seems like something you would like to have, keep it the way it is. But I would recommend not. Those reviews are kind of meant for hotels, bars, restaurants, that type of thing. Okay, so another universal theme that I came across was consistency in posting. So I was reading a report this morning from a social media marketing geek that talked about cadence. In other words, your readers are looking to have regular posts from you. So not something like one post on Tuesday and we'll see you later and you'll come back a week from Friday. And what we know about what Facebook works is the more consistent, the better. Angela got kicked off. Oh my goodness. And Steve is loving this. I'm assuming Steve did not kick off Angela. We hope that she can return and join us in a minute. This presentation is being recorded, so it's going to be available to send out to all of you afterwards, and we'll see if that works. We can get Angela back in, if not. All right? So consistency, and here's where I usually get people in my workshops panicking when I say you really should post once a day. Once a day, no more, no less. Now, a bunch of you, I've seen you'll have a great event and you'll post 3 times in a day about that great event, or it just so happens that there are many things happening that day, so you post 3 or 4 times a day. Better instead to string that out, 1 a day for a few days, even if it's about an event that happened on a certain day. Somebody has come back. Somebody is back online. We're going to hope it's Angela. Any questions about that in terms of consistency and number of times to post? You can type it into the chat. We're all good? All right. So how many of you have mastered the art of scheduling Facebook posts within Facebook? Angela's back, yay. And Kalista has waved at me. She must have achieved scheduling. She's nodding, yep, excellent. And everybody else, do you know how to do scheduling? Yep, Courtney's giving me the thumbs up. Does that mean yes? And how about Ashley? Absolutely not me, but I'm getting better, Ashley says. Excellent. Well, we'll review that a little bit in a minute, the scheduling feature, okay? All right, we're going to move along here. Any questions at this point? You're all still okay with hearing me and seeing me? Great. Okay. All right. Some more universal themes that came up for me is you're all doing really great at posting photos with your posts, and you really can't make a text-only post these days. It's just not done. And your photos are really great, but they're lacking in close-ups. And so that's just a little photo trick. We as human beings relate to people's faces specifically. And the people living in your communities are so beautiful. Maybe their bodies are falling apart, but their faces are always beautiful. So when you can, get up there in their face and get better face. Get up there and take some more close-ups. Courtney has written butter face. Whatever that means. Let me know if any of you have done this. If you've got, that was Steve, typical. I'm assuming you get family members coming through, visiting your residence. Do you make an intentional effort to take their photos when they come to visit? I would add that to your list of things to do. Keep an eye out for family members visiting. Take their photographs and then ask them to tag themselves once you've posted that photo. Ashley is rightly pointing out you have to ask permission. A good idea to ask people's permission that you're going to put their face on Facebook. But this is just a sneaky way to get those family members to leave your facility, go home and go, oh, I'm going to go find their Facebook page and like it so that I can see that photo they took of me today. That's just human nature to want to see themselves. But as a business, you can't tag a photo of somebody. I don't know if you've noticed that. That you can't tag a person. A person has to tag themselves. Any questions about that? I see that Ashley points out we have to ask permission. Chantel says we need a release form, and if you don't have one within the company, they're easy enough to find online, a typical photo release form. And Ashley says, yep, you need one for non-residents, absolutely. Any other questions about that tagging feature? You're good? All right, so moving on. I saw a few posts about group interviews, and maybe one of you could enlighten me on what that means. Is that a bunch of people coming to apply for an open position at one of your facilities? Type it in there if you could. Yes, that's what that means. Great. So I saw a lot of posts like that. I saw a few posts, I think, about specific job openings. And for obvious reasons, those are popular posts, but I saw a lot of you doing it with just text. We're having a group interview session next Wednesday or whatever it was, and that's all you said. So let's see if we could get some kind of corporate-wide icon, such as a help wanted sign or job opening sign, something that you create that you can all use every time you're posting about job interviews or job openings. Does that make sense? Steve appeared to have been frowning when I said that. Confused? No? Everybody okay? Courtney is saying, we have a nice posting. Not sure what that means, Courtney. It's Steve. Are we blaming Steve for this? Yes. Oh, gotcha. Does Steve is Courtney. Gotcha. Okay. So, Steve, was there something about a posting about a job opening? We're waiting for response from Steve in the chat. We have one already, a graphic about a job openings. Call Elba. Okay, great. Perhaps that could be shared with everybody, or just that was just a reminder that's maybe something you want to be sure to do every time you post something. And Steve, acting as Courtney, has written a phone number. Is that for Elba? Yeah. All right. Everybody understood what I meant by that in the job posting points? Steve is writing, I have done it with CNA companies. Okay, very good. All right, moving along. Elba is the concierge at Pocono, guys. Contact her for graphic. Okay, excellent. Excellent. That's exactly what we're looking for here. So I had mentioned in the document this morning that I sent to Angela this morning, Trello. If you haven't discovered Trello as an online project management tool, you may want to consider that as you do things like we just did, sharing information across your communities, which are in various geographic locations, obviously. Trello is free, online project management, and it's extremely easy to use. And it's a great way to talk to each other without anybody seeing it, and posting photos that perhaps all of you could use across communities, or posting those, the help wanted thing, as I just mentioned. So when you get a chance, and if you agree, and maybe this is up to Angela or Steve, to just try Trello as the place where you all talk to each other about social media management. Any thoughts on that concept? You're all good? Raise your hand. Nod if you're good. Okay, excellent. With that, I'm going to move into the body of my presentation, which is more about using your insights. Okay. So, well, hold on here. This is just this was another universal thing that I noticed. The cover photo, you all know that large wide banner at the top, right? That's called the cover photo. Some of you were changing that up very regularly and often, and maybe too much, and some of you have left it the same for the entire life of your page. Here's what the experts say. Change up that cover photo regularly. And by that I mean seasonally, or every couple of weeks, or when there's really something you want to highlight for a period of time. So on the screen here, you're all seeing Spring Village at Floral Vale, right? Their cover photo right now is tulips, and that's excellent. That's spring. That's absolutely seasonal. It's a perfect type of thing. But you don't want to leave that up when it gets to be fall, or when 4th of July comes, for example. That cover photo is so important. Yeah, or that, whatever Steve is showing me, the birthday candle. That could be the cover photo. I'm not going to say. But change that up often, because it gets noticed. And by that, I mean, it's such a large piece of real estate on anybody's given page that they notice it, they'll like, they'll comment, they'll share. And that's what we want to have happen. At the beginning of this, the very first slide in this presentation, I created a collage cover photo that I faked up just from pieces I stole from all your various pages. A collage is a great way to use the cover photo. A lot of you had just the facility up in that cover photo, which is great. Just don't leave it up there all the time. Again, we want to resonate with faces, and the more faces you can get up there, the better. So on the other hand, that lower small square photograph, that's part of the cover photo in the lower left, that should remain relatively constant. And there are a couple among you facilities that were changing that up far too often. You had a great photograph, it made sense to put it there, or it was 4th of July, you thought about changing that little square photo into a 4th of July thing. But better on that one, that should remain constant, and it should be changed only to something else that really solidifies the branding. So a photograph of the building is good, a logo, a sign, something like that. It's all good for that space. But why it should remain constant is because most people are going to look at your Facebook page on a little teeny screen like this. And so that small profile photo comes with it on a post on a smartphone. So you want it to be recognizable, and you want it to register in people's minds that this is another one of those Woodbine posts that they're seeing. Does that make sense? Everybody okay on covers? And yep, we're all nodding. Good, good. Even Steve gets it. So the sound you hear in the background is my cat trying to participate in this webinar. So as your administrators of the pages, and this is reflected in my analysis of all your pages, you have two jobs to do. And let's just look at what they are. Two main jobs: posting good content regularly. And we've already discussed what regularly means. That means once a day, okay? And your second job is to build up those numbers of likers. So if you do one, the other is going to happen. And if it's not happening, then you have to look at other ways to get those numbers of likers ratcheting up, okay? So I'm going to look at what you can learn from your page's insights. How many of you look at your Facebook page's insights regularly? Yay. Courtney and Steve, Ashley, they're all you're raising your hands. Okay. How many don't know what I'm talking about? Insights. Anybody? What's an insight? Chantel says. So, ladies and gentlemen, my cat. The beauties of working at home. So let's see. Insights are the analytics behind your Facebook page. Okay, so here's a snapshot of my business page. And up at the top, I've circled insights, the word insights. So if you're the administrator of your Facebook page, this should be showing to you at any time this section right here that says insights. Clicking on that shows you, well, without clicking on that, you get a little snapshot over to the right of what's happened with your page. There's been so many page likes, so many posts in the previous week. But clicking on that Insights button will get you extremely detailed information from which you can learn. So I've already said every day is how often you should post, right? So what time of day you should post? Here's what the data says: 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Don't ask me why, but that's when posts are seen and they get the most engagement in terms of share, comments, and likes. So whenever you can, post in the afternoon. That's not to say don't ever post other times, but that's best. Insights, Chantel is asking, I don't see it insights when I use Facebook on my iPhone, which is how she does everything. That's excellent, Chantel, excellent question. So for all of you, if any of you are using a smartphone or an Android to manage your Facebook page for Woodbine, know that you should download a separate app to use it on the phone. And just to be confusing, this separate app is called Facebook Pages, Pages. So Chantel, I would recommend go searching for that in your app store. It's free. Download that, and then you can see the insights, and you can do the scheduling we're about to go through using your phone. And that's yay. And Steve is giving me a heads up sort of thing. You like that option, Steve? Have you had trouble figuring this out before? Yeah. Oh, all right. Excellent. The Pages tool is a great way to manage the Facebook page from your iPhone. And insights will show there. Let me know, Chantel, if you try it and it doesn't work. You can write me an email and we'll walk you through it, okay? So back to, I was saying, afternoons are best. That's what the data shows. That's what what data shows. That's when people interact with the page. And that's because probably because in the afternoon, they're tired, they want to look like they're working, but they're really not, and they're looking at Facebook. All right? So that's a generalization from the data, but you want to see how your specific audience, the specific audience to your Facebook page, is actually behaving. Okay? And to do that, the insights are your friend. So I don't know if you can all see the graph here that shows a time of day going upwards. So this is a graph of my traffic on a certain page that I manage, the local hospital. And it's showing me this graph here that people are online down at the bottom, starts at about 6 o'clock, and it goes kind of steady all through the day. And look at this, there's a big leap at about 9 p.m. See down here it says the time. So you see the leap that it makes? Everybody with me there so far? Yep. So what we know about people's behavior is they're online in the afternoon, yes, but here they're acting like most of the rest of us do when we use Facebook. We get home from work, we are done with supper, we sit on the couch, and then we look at Facebook when we're watching Downton Abbey or something like that. Okay, so to make sure your posts have the maximum shelf life, you want to drop them in somewhere not too early in the day because they don't last that long. They have a shelf life of 2 to 3 hours. So if you start dropping them in like 3 p.m., you'll capture the traffic of folks that are online in that afternoon time period, and then you'll retain that traffic as it comes through for the rest of the day. Now, here, 2 to 3 hours is the lifespan of a post. So you want to try and drop it in to that time period. Steve and Courtney are having way too much fun while they're listening to me. All I'm seeing is them laughing. All right. So that leads us to scheduling. And there was it seemed like half of you knew how to do the scheduling and half didn't. So let's just walk through how to schedule a post real quick. When you're making a post, you're writing in this box, right? On your Facebook page, here's the posting box. Just below it is a button that says publish here. And if you hover over that word publish, you'll see this little short menu pop up. It says schedule, backdate, and save draft. In there, if you had typed something and attached a photo to it, as you should, and then hit schedule, this menu comes up. You can click on this calendar icon and pick any date into the future. And any time in the future. This button says schedule. This button says schedule. You can press the button, and then that post, you could do this into infinity. You could take a post and say, I'm going to make sure that this goes live next St. Patrick's Day, but you've already written it today. Everybody tracking on that? Scheduling is the way I'm able to manage the many pages that I do manage. And if you haven't done it, try doing it now. It's a great way to manage your own time. So let's say you've got a Tuesday morning and you suddenly have an hour to yourself. You can take that hour and fill up the page into the future with the stuff you have on hand. Everybody, any questions about that scheduling feature? No questions? That too, it's the scheduling feature is in the document that was set around this morning. Okay, what was that? Somebody just said, why? Let's see. After you schedule your post, would you be able to delete it later? Yes, very good question. From Wood by One, I forget who that was. After you schedule a post, can you delete it later? Absolutely. And so when you're visiting your page as the administrator, towards the top, it will show you what you've got scheduled. And let's say you go there and you'll see that there's 3 scheduled. You can click on that and it'll show you the details of what you wrote and that are already in the pipeline. And then you can review them and say, oh, I really can't have that post go live next Tuesday because somebody died or something changed in the world that makes that post inappropriate or something. And that happens. So you would want to keep an eye out on your scheduled posts. Did that answer that question, Woodbine One? Everybody good? Okay. But less on others. You're all good on scheduling? All right. Let's see if we can get back here. There's what I was just talking about. That's what it'll look like at the top of your page. You'll see that I have 3 scheduled posts at this moment. I could view them. And then once viewing, you can go in and delete. Okay? Or edit. You can also edit if you realize you made a mistake. So read my questions, Steve is saying. Why? Is it why to schedule? Is that your question, Steve? Further up. Okay, let's see if I can unmute you, Steve. Maybe. All right, Steve, let's,
Yes.
your question.
Okay, so we did a $5 post, which,
Oh, a boosted post.
yeah, so we're reading the stats on it, and we have 100%.
Compared to previous 7 days.
So, and then when we did our own posts, the percentage dropped down. So my question is why, or is that just some marketing trick to get us to do more $5 ads?
Probably that last thing, but let me make sure I understand what you said. So you made a post and then boosted it for $5, which we talked about doing at that meeting we had. And then you posted it again, and it got no.
So like just in, for example, between May 18th and May 24th, our posts were only reaching about 50%, and then it says like it was down 50%. And then our latest post, it had 2 actions on it, and it said it was up 100%.
It had 2 actions on it.
And then it said it was up 100%. I don't know if you can kind of see the phone.
Oh my goodness, I can't really.
No, okay.
You could try to take a screenshot and send it to me.
Okay.
But
Do you want me to email that to you really quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's my question. We can do the $5 post, or we can do our post, but why would how could one achieve 100% and the others not anywhere close?
Yep.
What's wrong with that statistic to me?
Yeah.
I just emailed it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It hasn't come in. Courtney, picture. Okay. So we're looking at, all the rest of you can still hear me, right? All right. We're looking at a snapshot of
Just our insights.
Courtney and Steve's insights as shown on an iPhone. So you're saying this is the snapshot of what's happened on your page for the previous week. So you had down 27% in total page views. Page likes were down. These are all compared to the previous week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So,
Okay.
Because we had nothing on the previous week.
Yes. Yeah. So you did a boosted post, and yay, it worked, and people saw it and all of that. Yeah. And then maybe the next week you didn't do a post, a boosted one. So therefore you're just going organic.
So we haven't done any boosted.
Not recently.
So should we do boosted ones?
Yeah, we can do that.
Does it do anything?
It just gets us more page views. It gets us potentially more likes. It draws more attention in general.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you can't boost every post you make, and you should be strategic. Say it again, Courtney.
Like just highlighted ones, like. Okay.
Yeah, I would do 2 things, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But I would boost the ones that Facebook suggests that you boost. Have you all seen those messages from Facebook? This post is performing such and such better than previous ones. That's a good indication that you should think about boosting it. In other words, paying for it. And that means people beyond your page or page likers are going to see it. So that's why it's a valuable thing to do. But here's the thing. You want to pay attention to which ones it's saying boost this post, because sometimes it might tell you to do that, and it really, whatever content you had in there is not something you really need to use for branding purposes. You know what I mean? If you had a picture of Steve holding up his silly hat, thank you, the birthday candle hat, and everybody loved that because all the employees loved it and all the residents residents' family loved it, it might be good to have that engagement that happened on the post that caused Facebook to say, maybe you should boost it.
We can boost it.
Put that on Facebook.
Yeah, but it may or may not be helpful in your branding. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And for the rest of you, if it's all right, we'll keep Steve and Courtney's microphone on, and we'll keep the rest of you off unless Paul, and if you want to say anything, because I think Steve has lots to say. All right. So that makes sense. So boost the posts that makes sense for your branding when Facebook suggests it, but don't boost every post And then when you do that, your statistics the following week are going to be skewed, as we learned from Courtney's. That they look bad, but they're not bad for that following week. It just mattered that the previous week was so big, so huge traffic. All right?
Okay.
All right. Got it. All right, so let's continue. Are we all pretty comfortable with the concept of scheduling at this point? Nod if you can. Yep. And so I just want to mention this other tool to you in case, I don't think any of you are managing a Twitter account for the company. Is that true? Okay. And it sounded like Steve was maybe going to have you go down the road of using LinkedIn for the company. I'm assuming that hasn't happened yet. Is that true, Steve?
I don't know, probably not.
Probably not. But let me mention this other tool in case it's handy to you or your life. Hootsuite.com is a free scheduling tool. Works just like the scheduling tool within Facebook. And the difference is here at Hootsuite, you can
I don't have a screen, so bugs fly in.
attach 5 different accounts to it, meaning you could have your Facebook business page, your personal page, your LinkedIn account, your Instagram account, if you went that route, could all be on one dashboard, and you could be scheduling from within Hootsuite. So that might be something to consider down the line. So keep your eye on Hootsuite and think about whether that would be useful to your life. Or if you get in there and start using scheduled updates in Facebook and decide you don't like it for whatever reason, try Hootsuite. It's absolutely free, and I use it all the time. It does everything Facebook does. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. All right, we've got, so other things to look for in your insights when you're visiting. Let's see here. I'm going to mute Steve and Courtney for the moment, and I'll come back to you if we need to, okay? All right, so here's more on your Facebook Insights. You're looking at reach, you're looking at page likes, and you're looking at actions on the page. This is what Insights delivers to you when you visit Insights. This is the top of the page. It's just a snapshot of what's happening, okay? What you want to be doing is looking for, I got to move some of your faces out of the way. You can click through and look at each individual post on the dashboard there, sorry. This is how I got to the review of each individual page that I sent you the report on, an assessment about what you're doing. But here you can see in a quick snapshot, the most recent 5 posts, and real quick can see, oh, this top one, because of this orange bar here, is doing really well for some reason, or did do really well. It got a lot of reach, which means the people who've liked your page, plus the people they may have shared it with, or when they liked it or when they commented on it, their people saw it. That means it had a high engagement rate, and it shows you the engagement rate. And the boosting posts is what we just talked about with Steve, etc. So what you want to do is learn from these insights. When you see these big orange bars, consider going back there and saying, well, what did I do here that interested people, that caused them to like, comment, or share? And that's a clue that whatever it is, you should do more of that. So that's what I mean by learning from your insights, okay? This one at the top is from my own personal business page. It's the largest reach I've ever achieved, because I don't have that many followers on Facebook, because my audience is people not on Facebook yet for my business. But on this day, I posted the following. This is what I posted. It was that day that they made other icons available other than the thumbs up Facebook icon. They made the sad face, the smiley face, or the oh my God face, or whatever. On the day that happened, I posted about it on my page. All I said was, this has happened. Are you using it yet? And it got a lot of reach. And here's why. It got a lot of reach because it was timely. It was the day it happened. I asked people to tell me something at the time. Here's what I wrote is on the right-hand side of your screen. I haven't actually tried this yet. Let me know if you think it's easy. So I asked people to do something. I asked people to interact with my page. And that's why people did it and why it got a lot of shares. So my point there is, whenever you're getting traction in a post organically, people are liking and commenting and sharing, pay attention and do something similar again, because that means you've hit a nerve, you've caught people's attention, and you've done something right. Okay? Make sense? Over here we've got Gloria saying, how do we see where that 148 comes from now if we want to check? What was the 148? I must be in a couple of slides back, Gloria. Let's see if I can. Oh, now I'm getting really with it. Gloria, can you hear me? You can talk now and we will hear you. Is Gloria there? No, Gloria. Oh, we just spoke about it in the chart. All right, going back to. Sorry. Oh, was it this chart, Gloria? This 148 here? So she's asking, how do we see where that 148 comes from now if we want to check? So sorry, on Insights, if you click through on the word posts, once you're looking at your Insights, the word post should be on the left-hand side as a menu, and when you hit post, these 5 most recent posts will come up. Gloria, if you try that and can't do it, you can send me an email and I'll walk you through it after this presentation, okay? All right. So tactics we should all be using for gaining fans. When you're making a post, do what I did there. Ask them to like, comment, or share it. You don't want to do that with every post because it kind of gets annoying, but when you've got something like, hey, we've thought this, tell me what you think. It's a good practice to ask people to like, comment, or share. Because guess what? People do what you ask them to do, and that's just going to help your page. And that's that kind of activity, like, commenting, and sharing. That's what Facebook likes. That's what will deliver your stuff higher up than other people's stuff that hasn't gotten that engagement. That's Facebook's algorithm. And don't ask me to explain what that means. It's just the way Facebook has tricked it out. It will deliver your stuff quicker, higher up if it's got more engagement. That's the gold standard on Facebook. So when you do get people liking, commenting, or sharing, it's best if you can get in there and acknowledge their contribution. Thank them for sharing, answer any question they might have asked, or just try to engage them in conversation there in the comments. Have any of you done that much? Engage with people? Nod your head if I need to. Yeah, all right. That's just a good practice. Strive to get into a two-way conversation with folks if you can, online there. So for your next text posts, always, you're doing this. Include a photograph, ask a question, keep it short. Isn't that interesting? They've proven that shorter, a really simple short post is better than a long one. Although people will sometimes sit still for a whole lot of text in Facebook, they have determined that the shorter ones work better. Let's see, offer valuable information. I mean, that you guys are offering interesting posts. You've got entertaining things going on in the holidays and people's faces, so people will love it. Have already been shown to love what you're doing. So if you're ever stuck because Chris says do one post a day and you don't have anything to do, think of this kind of a list of possibilities. Conduct a little mini interview with somebody, or highlight an employee that hasn't been highlighted yet, or invite somebody else to write something or to say something, or just take a picture. People love demonstrations and tutorials. I'm not sure what that would mean for your folks. I know that I saw a few posts from one or the other community where what one of your cooks was demonstrating how to cook something. And people love that kind of thing. Do more of that if you can. It's been shown to be a very popular type of post. Demonstrations, that is. All right. Cover photos, another great, I think we covered that a little bit. Courtney asked, do interview of our 100-year-olds? What a great idea. Was that, oh, that was Steve. Pardon me, yes. See if I can, I've just unmuted you, Steve. Anything you want to add to that?
No, Chantel has been working on that project for me. She has a narrative and a picture of our 5 100-year-olds. What I would do with that next is, I've been thinking about doing a full production, having a production crew come out, but I don't think that's going to work because our cameraman doesn't like me anymore. So I think everyone should just do it with their phone, do a quick interview, basically kind of like the outline that Chantel has, and then just post it. I think it's going to be amazing because they're 100 years old. So, you know, how often do you get to talk to a 100-year-old person?
Oh, that's fabulous. So, is that a certain day, or you're saying?
That's my call to action. Everybody do that by next week. Let's have that done and have it posted on every property that has a 100-year-old. Yeah, wouldn't that be great to have a collage of the 100-year-olds in your community as your Facebook cover photo at some point? That's a great idea. We're coming up on 2 o'clock here, and I want to make sure I answer the questions you have. So I'm going to unmute everybody and ask you to use the chat briefly to tell me what's left, what you would still like to learn, what questions I didn't answer today. And now it's going to get a little noisy because I've unmuted all of you. Yeah.
I have a question.
What means call now?
Is somebody asking about the call now button?
Yeah. What happens if you, I don't understand the call button.
Yeah, so many of you have already done this. There's a call now button that's superimposed on that cover photo on your Facebook page. Let me see if I can get to Facebook Live and show you what I mean. This one right here. Here's Galloway, right? You're all seeing that? Mm-hmm. So right now, is it, let me just make sure that it's this button you're asking about?
I can't see it.
We don't have it.
Yeah, we don't see it.
But if you're looking at my screen, you'll be able to see this call now button?
No. You see cat paw.
Sorry, I couldn't get that.
All we see is a cat paw.
The cat paw. Oh. All right.
I love my cat paw.
They love the cat paw.
All right. Just a hairy arm. I don't know if it's a cat paw.
Yeah. Arm, you're saying. Sorry. Operator error. Oh, I see what you're saying. All right. All right. Do you see Galloway there?
Yes.
All right. So we're looking at this button here. Is that the question you asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, if you hover over your big cover photo for your page, something like this, there should be a placeholder here where you can choose to add this button that says call now. And look what happens when I click the edit button. You have a choice of all these types of things to have it say. And what you're doing is programming it to say, in this case, I'm assuming if we click through, we'd get to a phone number for the facility and be able to, if I was on a phone, click through and call right immediately. So that's called the call to action button. Instructions for doing that are in the document Angela sent around this morning. So if you haven't got one on your page, you should have one. I think in our next meeting, we should talk about videos and more about Facebook paid advertising. Do you all agree about that? All right, and you can talk. Your mics are open if you've on the mic. Chantel asked, what's the length recommendation for videos? So we'll talk about that next time, but in short, keep it short.
1 minute.
Yeah, and Steve, what was that?
1 minute.
1 minute or less, because we all have the attention spans of goldfish. However, the Facebook videos get a lot of engagement, and when you do something really awesome, people will hang in there. And what I noticed from
I hear you, Andrea.
which communities it was, but you had a resident dancing in one.
Corey hasn't seen that stuff.
There you go, birthday candle again. You had a resident dancing, had a resident telling a joke or telling a story. People hung in with those videos, and those are just good content. We have one more question from Ashley, and then I think we're going to end this. Ashley writes, how do we convince residents and families to consent to photo use? Over half of our residents are non-consent.
Just take the picture. Just take the picture.
I did not say that. Steve said that.
Just take it.
A lot of people will.
Woody didn't say that either.
They'll tell you if they don't want it up. Just take it. Don't worry about the paperwork on it. Listen, people post stuff that's not supposed to be posted all over the world. All you have to do is ask to take it down.
Yeah. Steve is right on that. People really don't get that upset when they see it. They often are kind of pleased when they see it. But people are shy. It's the hardest part of my job when I've got a camera in my hand and trying to take somebody's picture at the hospital, say. It's at the wellness center that I do business for.
Right.
They don't like it, but they'll tolerate it if you're friendly and helpful.
Listen, guys, don't get hung up in the rules. So you can send Janice to me, but just take the freaking picture and take it down. Take it down. I mean, what are they going to do? Sue you? No, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, it is what I do with my fitness center people too, who are also an elderly population. People are just shy and they don't want to stand out in the crowd, but do it. Yeah. What
social media, guys, even though we have set it up as a business, social media, so it doesn't really apply. So you could argue that it doesn't apply when it comes to that release of advertisement, and then we could just say, oops, sorry, we'll take it off.
We're not violating any HIPAA regs here. This is just a,
right.
Like I said,
right.
It's just a pic.
Don't worry about that.
The legal jury is totally out on that, and nobody's been sued about it.
Right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. I think we have to quit now because your time is up, and this has been fun. I hope it hasn't been too annoying for you sound-wise. And this recording will be available. I'll make sure Angela gets it so that she can send it around. Any last words?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Peace and love, Steve says. And in 2 more weeks. Peace and love.
All right, guys.
Bye.
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 What did she say? Is it once a month or when are we doing this?